Night.
Oh shit.
And night.
Yeah, is it cleared all the way through?
Dry. Yeah, it's dry, mate.
Cheers,
Yeah,
mate.
I looked at it and thought, well, I've seen this like a week ago, and no.
I'll mute you now, boys. Good luck in the race, everyone. Alright, boys. Yeah, good luck, Zane. Here we are, we're live at Bahrain for round 11 of 12 in PSF1. And we've been told it's a clear race, weather-wise. Fairly good turnout tonight, 12. The championship will go down to the wire, as the only two people in the running for it now is Tycho and Samad, but neither of them can win the title here tonight. It currently stands where Samad is 7 points clear of Tycho in second place. So if Samad wins tonight and takes fastest lap, it puts him 14 clear of Tycho. If Tycho was to finish second, just see who's furthest along. As Samad makes a right pig's ear of that turn. Carlos on the softs, coming down the back straight now, over the brow of the hill, heading down towards turn 14 and 15. Comes round 14, 15, straightens the car up, opens up rear wing, and goes on to his first flying lap. Into turn 1, nicely through there. Tonight's race, one-stop strategy, mediums to hards, pitting at the end of lap 13 and going hards at the end, or you can opt for the soft medium, pitting at the end of lap 7 and then going mediums for 11 laps and then mediums to the end. But staying on board now with Carlos, drops down the hill into the hairpin. I don't see Carlos challenging the front runners, the likes of Samad and Tycho, Kuna Matata, Stanaman. Nice little toe off the Alpha Tauri there. Into turns 14 and 15. Pops open the rear wing to cross the line on a 1:27.472. Kuna Matata going fastest on a 1:25.9. Zane at the top of the hill. Coming up the 6 and 7 now. Dropping down the hill. You want to stay away from the curbs at a 6 and 7 because it has a tendency to pivot the back end round and put you in the wall on the opposite side. Down into the hairpin now for the first time. Currently at the moment everyone's on the softs, where I'd expect them maybe to be going on the mediums, doing one run. But they're just finding where the grip is at the moment. I would say the lap times coming from the fastest drivers such as Tycho and Samad. Once Samad nails it, should be high 24s, low 25s. Zane just rounding out his lap. To take pole on a 25.8. Good lap from Zane. Fristy popping into P3 there on a 26.2. More to come from Fristy. Dylan on a 26.5. Samad is just, I think, just seeing how far he can take these softs. The soft tyres, I wouldn't suggest taking them anywhere past 7 laps. Egley on the back straight now, just coming to the left-hander before he climbs the hill. Into the fast-sweeping right-hander. Stay away from the curbs in that turn. Egley goes fastest in the middle sector, looking at it now. Red Bull getting out of the way. I would say that's Tycho. Just warming the tyres. Nicely through 14 and 15 for Egley. Pops the rear wing open. Cross the line on a 127.4 to go P8. On board with Tycho now on his first flying lap. Nicely through 1 and 2. Clipping the curb on 3. Let the car drift out wide, ready for 4. Nicely, 4 and 5. Nicely through here. Stay away from them curbs on the outside of the other car. Small lock-up. Down into the hairpin, another lock-up from Tycho. Lighten up the rear end. We'll see where he is now at the second split as he comes over the hill. Purple in the middle sector. Drifts out wide, just gets away with it. Lucky it wasn't invalidated. Down now to turns 14 and 15. Taking as much curb as he can to cut the apex. Rear wing open. Cross line on a 125.4. Still more to go. Nice lap from Tycho. Samad still touring. Been on these softs now for 3 laps. Just get on board to see what die miles. No. Carlos starting his lap now. See if there's anyone further along. Nice to see the McLarens staying out of the way. Dylan Moss with connection issues. Nicely down the hill there. Small bit of lag on Kuna Matata. Back on with Carlos now as he starts climbing the hill. Fast sweeping right hander here. Now you want to stay away from the curbs on the inside because it will pivot the car around into the wall. Nicely through there. Nicely out of 13. Nice through 14 and 15. Opens the rear wing now. Cross the line. P8 on a 127.2, 2/10 better. Samad's in the pits. Dilmos has just rejoined. Nice to see he's able to get back in. See what Stanaman's capable of. I think this is his first flying lap. Sorry, second. See whether he can go any faster. Got a Williams getting out of the way there, nice. As we see Kuna Matata being one of the first drivers to opt for the mediums. Staying on board with Stanman, he'll get a distant tow off his teammate in front of him, which is GTR Lion. 4/10 up on his fastest lap. We'll just catch the end of the lap for GTR Lion. Let's see where he puts it. P6, sorry, good lap. Stanaman a P3, 125.8. This is the man I'm interested in to see what he can do. I wonder if he can get us into the 24s tonight. So we'll stay on board with Samad, we'll see what he can do. Currently 11th on the grid at the moment. Into turn 1, nicely, holding third gear, 4. We'll see now at the top of the hill, just before 6 and 7, what the split is. Fastest in the first sector, 1.3 up on his fastest time. I think if he can hold us together, this will be a monster lap from Samad. But like I said, he can't win the championship tonight. Fastest in the middle sector. Just turns 14 and 15 to go. Short shifting out of the last corner. Coming across the line now. A 124.7. Like I said, high 24s. But that was an absolute stonking lap by Samad. The gap between himself and Fristy. 6/10 of a second, 6.5 tenths. Now, I don't know whether Samad can go any faster. Will he go? He's got enough time to get round, get in and get on a set of mediums. But it looks like everyone at the moment is opting for the 2-stop strategy. Which surprises me really, because it's an easy 1-stop. So I'm wondering, will Die Miles and Tactics opt for the 1-stop? Tycho looking after his soft tyres as he wants to be on his outlap. To see where Tycho is, Stanaman is compared to Tycho. Tycho's on the back straight now. Two Ferraris of Egliosha and Dylan Moss going out as Di Miles has left the session. So Di Miles has got connection issues tonight along with Dylan. Jumping back on board now with Tycho as he opens his flying lap. So I think MSA Samad, now that's his qualifying over. I don't see him going again, even though there's a small time glitch between me and the drivers in the race. We'll see if Tycho's up now at the first split. 1 3/4 tenths up on his fastest time. Needs to find another 4 tenths. Nice little drift there. Hopefully it didn't cost him too much time. Tycho, of course, tonight running 4.7 wings as he's fastest in the middle sector. This could be the pole lap here. Just the last turn to go. Nicely through there. Ringer wing open now. Crosses the line to stay P2 on a 25.0. Stanaman now, coming down the back stretch towards turn 14 and 15. Stanaman stays P3. Zane almost 2 tenths up on his fastest time. Still a tenth up. Got the Ferraris of Egli and Dylan behind him. Zane now pops open the rear wing, crosses the line to go P3. Dylan P8, Egli P9, Carlos 10, Miles 11, and that's qualifying. So on pole we have Samad on a 1:24.794, 3 tenths back. Tycho in second, Domain Zane third, Stanaman fourth, Kuna Matata fifth, Fristy sixth, GTR Line seventh, Dilmos eighth, Egliosha ninth, Carlos 10th, Di Miles 11th, and not setting a time, Tactics in P12. Just waiting for the drivers to retire now. And that's all that's left for me to do is to get the timing screens for Not Penny's boat, who I hope to see in the car next week racing in the final race at Canada. So now we've got the 2-minute wait. So I'm going to grab a quick slurp. It's 29 laps the distance. So everyone now tonight, I can see going 2-stop, which is soft, medium, medium. Pitting at the end of lap 7 to go on your first sets of mediums, and then pitting at the end of lap 18 to go mediums to the end. Just on the 2-minute timer now. So we're off to Canada next week. So if Samad wins tonight and takes fastest lap, it will put him 14 points clear of Tycho. So he won't have to win the race next week. He just has to finish inside the top 10 to clinch the title. But a lot can happen in between of now and then. Currently at the moment on my screen, Die Miles isn't showing. So I'm hoping that he's still in the session. Because as we're looking at the Mercedes garage, his name is still there. Because if Die Miles isn't in the session, I don't see his car giving any of the drivers too much problems. It's only when they come round to lap him. As we see now, someone's hit the X, the 2 minutes is up. They'll do their installation lap. And then we'll see then if Tactics is going to go for the 1-stop, mediums the hards. As we see the predicted pit stop strategies on the screen now. Now it's showing Die Miles is in the session. Kuna Matata disqualified. No, Die Miles is not in the session, as we see the X at the side of his name. So Die Miles has lost connection, so he has connection issues tonight, which is a shame, as he won't be classified regardless where his car finishes. Tactics in the session. Looking back, no, Die Miles not in the session. As we see Tactics opt in for the mediums, so too is Die Miles' car, but that's the computer AI. So the top 10 all on softs, all opt in for the two-stop strategy, as you can't do the softer hards like you can in many of the races on the calendar. AI taking over the cars now as they line up. Hopefully everyone will get through turn 1, no problems. Excuse me, the top 4 should be okay. It's the ones behind that's going to be steaming into turn 1. Give me a better camera angle. Lights go out for me when we see the revs build. And here we go, the revs are building. And away we go for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Samad gets a good start there. Defending Tycho, squeezes in. Tycho's coming up the inside. Into turn 1 we go for the first time. Samad drops a place. Domain Zane takes over at the front of the track. Samad down into P2. Zane going a little bit defensive on the first lap here, as everyone behind is jockeying for position. Dropping down. On board with Tycho now. Back on board with Samad. All over the back of Zane here. Climbs the hill now to drop down into the hairpin for the first time. Samad using a little bit of overtakers. Zane goes defensive. Climb the hill now. Into the fast right-hander. Stay away from the curbs on the inside. Nicely through there. Samad looking to make a move. Staying on board with Samad at the moment. Tycho all over the back of Samad. Needs to get past Samad here. Samad using his overtake. So too will be Zane to try and hold Samad behind. Samad looking to make the move. A little bit of wheel banging going on here. Tycho getting in on the action here now. And Tycho's off. Into the wall goes Tycho. And he's retired from the session. As we see Samad taking the lead. Because under yellow flags you're not allowed to overtake under yellows. Now I'm wondering, will everyone box now and going back down through the order, see if there's any wing damage on any of the cars behind. Dilmos, one of the early movers up the P5. Just checking, because I just had a message pop up to say that my internet connection isn't currently enough. Everyone in the pits now. We'll see what the leaders are going on. Hards for Samad. Mediums for Zane. Best strategy. Tactics staying out because he started on the mediums. So now we'll He'll jump on board with Samad. As we know, he's on the hards. Samad, like everyone else, will have to stop again. Fristy on the mediums, he'll have to pit again. And he will go lap. He'll pit on the end of lap 16, maybe lap 18. So he can go mediums again. Same too for Fristy. Dilmos the same, Zane the same, Lion the same, Egley the same. Same for Kuna Matata and Carlos. So all those on the mediums will go to mediums again. They won't have to touch the hards. Now this is the biggest problem I see now tonight, is Di Miles' car. He's not in the car. And this is going to be a big problem for the drivers behind him. Now currently as it stands, Samad can win the title here tonight, because Tycho crashed out and retired from the session. So Tycho's championships hopes are over. So the back-to-back isn't on. So we could see Samad being crowned the F1 champion tonight at Bahrain with one race to go. So the safety car is going to be out for about 3 laps. That's 1 over. It's normally out for 3 laps. So the cars behind will be able to go another 2 and 3 laps longer on their strategy. So the likes of Tactics, I don't see him pitting much before the end of lap 17. But Tactics is in a bit of a quandary, because he's in no man's land as it currently stands, because if he was to pit at the end of lap 18, for argument's sake, the softs will not go to the end of the race, so he would have to go to the hards after starting on the mediums. So Tactics is in no man's land. So currently at the moment, Samad is our leader on track. See Carlos picking up a 5-second time penalty then, so he's running the rear, I would say, of Kuna Matata. Just trying to see if he's got any wing damage. It's not giving me the camera at the moment. No wing damage. Lucky to get away with that. Safety car in this lap. So Tactics will control the pace. As we see him now weaving to get a little bit of heat into them tyres. Everyone behind now jockeying. There'll be no overtaking until the lead car has crossed the start and finish line. So Tactics has gone early. On board with Samad now. Looking to get past Di Miles' car. Gets past Di Miles' car. So now he goes on after Tactics. Di Miles' car coming back at him, but it's an AI car. And this is the problem for everyone tonight, is Di Miles' car. Next up the road now will be Fristy to try and get past Miles' car. So the biggest winner at the moment is Tactics, up 11 places. Samad down 1. Fristy is on a up 2. Stanaman down 1. Dylan up 2. Zane down 4 is having a bit of a shocker. Lion down 1. Egliosha holding on to P9. Kuna Matata down 5. And Carlos in P11 down 1. Samad now all over the back of Tactics' car. Small lockup into 14 out of 15. Getting in the slipstream now. Samad setting the early pace on a 1:30.8. Dilmos going even quicker on a 1:30.7. Excuse me. Fristy getting past Di Miles' car up the inside into turn 1. Next on Di Miles' list is Stanman, as we see Carlos picking up a time penalty. Dilmos dropping down and then getting past Kuna Matata, and Dilmos has lost his right end plate on his Ferrari. Yeah, so he will have to box again. Back on board with your leader now, Tactics. He's doing well to fend off Samad behind. The gap is 3/10. But Samad is showing how much pace he's got, even though he's on the hard tyres. It's only a matter of time before he gets past Tactics, and then he'll just disappear into the distance. DRS has been enabled this lap. Stanman just getting past Miles' car as Miles' car is coming back at him, but it's AI. This is a bit of a nuisance. So now Stanman needs to pull away from the AI car. Dilmos has left the session. Connection issues from Dilmos' side again. The main Zane is next on the radar to get past Di Miles' car. It's a shame that he can't get back in the session to either take over or retire. But Zane will have DRS now. So he'll have to go for a do or die move now up the inside. As this is costing Zane dearly here. Needs to clear Di Miles as we see Samad's taken over at the front. Dilmos has rejoined P11. On board now with Samad. As you can see, the gap is 1.2, 1.3. He's just going to disappear up the road now from Tactics, barring any mistakes. That's it. There's your race winner here now. So everyone now getting past the AI car of Di Miles. Egliosha now trying to squeeze his way around the outside. Down, and there's an accident. Egli luckily got away there with no wing damage. The biggest loser there, Kuna Matata, left end plate gone. He'll have to box again. Dilmos has boxed, so on his way he goes on the soft tyres. Kuna Matata, Carlos now has got Egli for company behind him. So that's the difference in what an AI car can do to your race. As we see the gap now between Samad and Tactics, almost 2 seconds. Fristy now all over the back of Tactics. Be nice to see Fristy finish up there in P2. But Tactics, he'll be out, I would say, for at least another 5 laps. As we see him getting out of shape then, coming down the hill. The only thing we can't see is tyre wear on these cars. See the gap now, building, 3 seconds over Tactics now in second place to Samad. But with Tactics having the pit, I know he's in P2, he should be allowing the faster drivers to go, because he's got to stop again. His tyres 9 laps old compared to Fristy's, who's on 3 lap old tyres. And Di Miles has joined. There's a shocker. He will jump into his car in a record break in 7th place with no time penalties. Now, can he maintain no time penalties and go to the end? That is the big question. Tactics has got passed by Drunk by Fristy. So Stanaman now, next on the radar. 6 tenths behind, 5 tenths. It's hovering around about that 5 and 6 tenths. Stanaman's only hope is he'll get DRS now on the back straight. Dilmos setting the fastest lap currently at the moment on 1:30.1. Though I would say Samad will pit again to go on the medium tyres to go even quicker. Tycho's joined the session. Is the stream still up and running? Yes, I got 2. So thanks for the 2 that stayed on board to watch. Stanaman now half a second back on Tactics. Tactics is still pushing Fristy here. Fristy's that far back off Samad now. He won't get DRS. As we see Tactics looking to make a move down the inside into turn 1. Goes for it and makes it stick. Nice move. This is allowing the cars behind to catch up. Unfortunate to see Tycho crash out tonight. See Fristy now looking to try and make a move, as we see Stanaman getting in on the action here. This is allowing Stanaman to catch up. As we see Samad, he's just pulling the gap here now, just under 5 seconds on Tactics. This fight in behind him will allow him to just stretch his gap over the second place cars. On board with Fristy now. Stanman looking to make a move and thinks better of it. Up the hill into the fast right-hander now. 7th gear, staying away from 8th. Into 13. Small bit of overstay there by Fristy. I've lost the timing screens, though they will come back, take a lap or 2. There we go, the gap now 5.2 seconds over second place. Stanman going defensive here. Zane around the outside. Got the inside now for the turn 2. Nice pass by Zane. knocking Stanman down to P5. Eggley Usher picking up a 3-second time penalty. Multiple warnings for track extending. On board with Fristy now. DRS on the cars behind, all three. Zane looking to make a move up the inside. Nice move by Zane up the inside. Dilmos picks up a 3-second time penalty. Zane up in the P3 now. Zane 0.6 of a second behind Tactics. This is where the battle is now for P2 and for the final podium position P3. Tactics now, he will be coming up to his pit stop. Now he's on borrowed time now. He will have to pit again. He'll come out in front of Dylan in P10. Domain Zane looking to get a move done round the outside. Nice move by Domain Zane. In the P2 goes Zane. Tactics, I think Tactics' tyres is almost on the cliff here. As we see Tactics almost run into the back of Domain Zane, carrying too much speed. Zane has already pulled 0.6 on him already. The gap between Samad and Zane, 6.5 seconds. Though I don't see Domain Zane challenging. That's 6.5 seconds. As we see Stanaman getting past Tactics now for P3. I think Tactics' tyres now are on the edge. He will have to box. And he can't go on another set of mediums. So Tactics will have to go hards, as the softs won't get him to the end here. See now, is he going to box this lap? Nope, stays out. Trying to get in the slipstream of Stanman, but not close enough. So we see Di Miles' car in the pits. Di Miles on the hards. Di Miles will go. Still circulating, currently clean of no penalties. Can he keep this up for another 15 laps? Di Miles down to 10th. And last. Dilmos left the session. Just as he gets past Di Miles, loses connection. The main Zane now, got Stanman for company. Tactics now, 9/10 back. Still being towed around by the cars in front of him. But how much longer can he go for on these mediums? Because Tactics is out of position now. I would say if he boxes now, he could get out in front of Kuna Matata if he's lucky. Chooses to stay out. Zane needs to try and pull a gap on Stanaman. As we see Miles, there we go, picking up his first 3-second time penalty. And to think he wasn't in the car for 12 laps. As I've lost the timer screens again. See if Di Miles can get past Dilmos here. Dilmos is on the softs. Well, I know you can only take them 7 laps. So Dilmos is going to have to stop again. I would say for the mediums, as Miles is going to the end. Come on, where's these timing screens? Tactics still circulating. 16 laps on them mediums. I don't know what Tactics' strategy is here, because I can't see him trying to take these tyres here for 22 laps to go onto the softs. He's got to go hards. Should have pitted under the safety car. If he'd have pitted under the safety car and gone onto the hards, then he'd have been on the same strategy as Samad, having to pit again, but then he could have gone back to the mediums. As we can see, the gap now between Zayn and Samad, 9 seconds. A move there made, and there's damage to Tactics' car, so he will have to box this lap. So I don't know whether that was his fault or whether that was the cars behind. But just looking at GTR Lion, no damage as Lion comes in the pits. Zayn currently in the pits. Another set of mediums. Now Zayn's going to the end. GTR Lion on the mediums, going to the end. And like I said, hards it is for Tactics. This is going to cost him dearly. Miles might be lucky enough to get past him here. Yes, Miles has passed him, and Dylan is too far behind to do anything. Still a long way to go in this race, as we see Agliosha going off here, getting away with it. Carlos up to P4, Fristy P3, Stanaman now P2, as we have yellow flags. Eggley starting to snake all over the place here. GTR Lion is at a moment. No wing damage on his car. Zayn back up to P6 here. Now currently the cars in front of him, Carlos will have to pit again. Fristy is boxing now. Stanaman's in the pits now. So now this, oh, Fristy's just picked up a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Will he serve that now in the pits? Small hold up for Stanaman. Carlos up to P2. Stanaman in the pits. Fristy's away now. Zayn has passed. Back in the P3 for Zayn. We'll see now what this has done for Zayn. The gap between Zayn and Stanaman, almost 3 seconds, as we see it flicking to 3 seconds now. So Carlos has to pit. So Zayn and Stanaman, that's your podium positions at the moment. Samad's got a pit stop in hand now over Carlos. So I'm wondering, is Samad going to box this lap? No, Samad stays out. So Samad probably knows by pitting now he'd have to go mediums. So I would say Samad is going to try and stay out until the end of lap 21 and then go softs to the end. Back on board with Carlos now. Choosing to stay out. So maybe he's going to do the same. Try and go to the end of lap 21 and then box and go softs to the end. The gap between Carlos and Zane, 2.9. But I don't see Carlos holding on to P2 for long, as we see a move further down. GTR Lion and Kuna Matata. Kuna Matata on the softs. He'll struggle to get them to the end. Di Miles currently in P8. I don't know whether Di Miles will be classified tonight, as he missed 12 laps of the race. Tactics currently in P9. Going well, doing enough just to stay in front of Egliosha. And Dilmos still circulating in 11th and last. The main Zane now 9/10 behind Carlos. So Carlos's tyres are on the cliff. Is he going to box this lap? Yes. This will drop him right down the order. As we see Domain Zane now P2, Stanman P3, Fristy P4. Oh, speeding in the pit lane. There we go. Softs going on. We'll get back on board with our race leader now. Because I feel that Carlos is going to struggle towards the end of the race on them softs. One moment. And past he goes again. Samad staying out. Zane going along good in P2. 3.2 behind is Stanaman. 1.3 behind Fristy. GTR Lion a further 9.7 seconds back as Di Miles picks up a 3-second time penalty. So currently, if the flag was to go out now, Di Miles would be down in P9. Carlos on the soft tyres, I think he's going to struggle towards the end on them, especially through turns 12. The closest battle on track currently at the moment is between Carlos and Egliosha. As you can see, the superiority over the tyres. Egli going to the end, as so too is Carlos. But that gap falling all the time. Egli struggling a little bit on these mediums. Carlos all over the back of him now. I don't know whether he'll look to make a move down into the hairpin. Thinks better of it. He'll go for the DRS now. Egli getting a small bit of oversteer. As we see Carlos now getting the DRS. Eggley using all his battery as Carlos makes a move up the inside from a country mile back. I feel that will go to the stewards. Trying to see, no wing damage. The cars behind not close enough to react to it. More space should have been given by Eggley. As we can see, the gap now between Samad and the main Zane, 28 seconds. As we see the fastest lap going to Kuna Matata on 1:28.2. Back on board with your race leader. Heading down now to turns 14 and 15. I'm wondering, will he box this lap and go softs? Small lock up there. Samad boxing now. I would say softs it's going to be. Hopefully it's not the set that he done his 3 or 4 laps on in quali. Hopefully it's a brand getting out in front of Zane. Just hopefully it's fresh softs on that car, on Samad's car, because if it's not, he's going to struggle to get to the end if there is quali tyres. But we'll keep an eye on the timing screens. Looking at it, it's 5 seconds now. Die Miles in the pits. Set us off for Die Miles, so Die Miles will try and go for fastest lap here. As we see Kuna Matata battling, getting past Carlos up into P8, Eggley up to P7, Tactics up to P6, Eggley behind him. The gap is hovering around about 1.3, 1.4. Closest battle currently at the moment is between Eggley, Usher and Tactics, and so to Fristy and Stanaman. The gap still hovering between Stanaman and Domain Zane, 2 seconds. 6 laps including this one until the end. The gap between the lead and now, 6.5 seconds to second place, Domain Zane. Stanaman taking almost 2/10 out of Domain Zane. Zane's tyres are a lap older than Stanaman's. Maybe that'll play a factor towards the end of the race. Fristy has a time penalty, so unless Fristy can get past Stanaman and Domain Zane and pull a 3-second gap, he will be P4. Would have been good to see Tycho in this battle tonight and taking it down to the wire in Canada next week. Eggley doesn't look like he's making any inroads on Tactics. The gap's still 1.5. Die Miles getting past Dilmos as Dilmos pits. Set us off, so Dilmos will go for the fastest lap. Die Miles now on his first flyer, so we'll keep an eye on Die Miles in the first timing sector to see if he goes fastest. We'll keep an eye on the tack map below, see if it goes purple, and currently no. Samad setting the fastest lap on a 1:27. So I would say, yeah, they're brand new tyres. 5 laps to go including this lap. Zane seems to be doing just enough to keep Stanman behind. Excuse me. The gap 1.7 now to Stanaman. We'll go on board with Zane to see what his battery's looking like. 62% battery. Good. Stanaman, 30%, so he's using his battery to trying to get on the back of Zane. But at worst, Zane's going to come away with a P3 here tonight, barring any time penalties or any mistakes. Egley still 1.6. The closest battle is Kuna Matata and Egley in tactics. Stanaman getting ever closer. Gap 1.3 now. Samad just disappearing up the road. Drop down, we'll go on board with Dylan. See how Dylan's getting along here. Currently 11th and last, but that's only because of his connection issues tonight, which is a crying shame as Dylan was showing promise earlier on. But this race will come down to time penalties. Dylan now going on to the back straight. See Di Miles now, that's the gap between them, 19 seconds. So Di Miles isn't going to challenge for fastest lap. Dylan is 9/10 up, so I don't know whether Dylan can challenge for fastest lap here. Crosses the line. No, Dylan won't get fastest lap. The only one I see struggling towards the end of the race now with 4 to go including this lap is Carlos on them soft tyres as he pitted before anyone else. Kuna Matata all over the back of Egliosha now. Dilmos picking up a 3-second time penalty. Back on board with Stanaman, 9/10 the gap now. Still hovering between 9/10 and a second between Domain Zane and Stanaman. Zane definitely on a podium here tonight, as long as he finishes. But as we see Samad, almost 14 seconds up the road from P2. We see a move here. Kuna Matata getting past Egliosha. Egley won't let that go as he'll get DRS. Will he go for the move? He's thinking about it and thinks better of it at the top of the hill. Back on with this battle now between Stanaman and Domain Zane. Stanaman's tyre is only 1 lap younger than Domain Zane's. That will play a small factor. Both cars running the same strategy and the same setup. As we see now, Stanaman getting DRS. Not close enough on this lap. Got the back marker in front of him of Egley. So that bought Zane a little bit of time. As we see Egley now challenging Stanaman. For what reason I don't know, because he's been lapped. There again, it could be Dilmos. Yeah, Dilmos it is. Get back on board with this battle here. Stanaman going wide. Dylan up the inside to unlap himself. Though Dylan will get the blue flags, so Dylan will have to let Stanaman go, but this is buying Domain Zane valuable time. Dylan going down the inside now on them superior softs. Di Miles picking up a 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings. On board with Zane, the gap now to Stanman, 0.6 of a second. On board with the leader, Samad, but this is where the battle is now for P2. Dylan will be getting shown the blue flags to get out the way. Both cars behind him getting DRS. Zane currently on 36% battery. Stanaman 14%. Zane doing just enough to stay in front of Stanman. Those that Stanman will have the DRS. I think Domain Zane close enough to the to Dylan's car in front will have DRS on the back straight. Down into the hairpin we go. On board with the leader for the final time, on the final lap here at Bahrain. Trying to watch this battle for P2. As we see Samad come down into turn 14 out of 15 onto the home stretch. The service time penalty in the pits, and win Bahrain and become PSF1 World Champion of Season 19. Congratulations to Samad. Back on board with Zane now for a brilliant P2. Stanaman picks up P3. Fristy will get P4. GTR Lion jumps Fristy to go P4. Fristy down to P5. Kuna Matata, Tactics battling. Oh, there's a small bit of contact there between Kuna Matata and Tactics. Di Miles retires from the session. So Dilmos is going to pick up a point. No. We'll see what happens when it comes down to the stewards. But congratulations goes to Samad, winning the championship today. So we see a new PSF1 champion in the way of MSA Samad, or No Future to See as he was better known as. Good race from Domain Zane, finishing P2 and Stanaman P3. Though I don't know whether there was any contact between Stanaman and the cars in front of him to the reason he crashed. So there's our final finishing positions. MSA Samad taking the championship. Domain Zane finishing P2, Stanaman P3. GTR Lion P4, Fristy 5, Kuna Matata 6, Tactics 7, Carlos 8th, Egliosha 9th, Di Miles rounding out the top 10, Dylan 11th, Tycho did not finish, retired, but big question marks surrounding Di Miles. As I said, he DNF'd, but we'll see what happens when it comes down to the stewards. So that's the Bahrain race over with. So join us next week for Canada for the final round of round 12 of PSF1 season 19. And thanks for everyone that watched tonight. And then again, what we'll do is we'll just unmute everyone in the chat. Can anyone hear me? I'm just stopping the stream.